This is the brand new lineup builder tool on RickRunGood.com. This is a long time coming. This is something that we've been testing in the Slack channel for the past couple of weeks and finally ready to drop it here live on the site. I will say this, still very much in beta. Still, if you run into any issues, let me know. But we've done a lot of ironing out of the wrinkles, and I think it's in a really solid state. And there's always going to be expansion of this tool. So for right now, what is the lineup builder tool? Well, it is essentially a combination of the custom model, the old custom model, and the lineup optimizer. The big problem with the previous custom model is that you couldn't really do anything with the data. You could run the model, you could look at it, and then you couldn't really build lineups off of that. And it was a sticking point, certainly in the website, and it made it much less cohesive. So this is kind of step 1, 2, and 3 in the direction of making the site more cohesive. And I will keep the custom model still live on RickRunGood.com, the old one, if you want to use that, just in case, because we are, this is brand new. I know people don't like change. So the old custom model will still be available. But let's talk about this lineup builder. And first of all, it is the first tool on RickRunGood.com to ever have a light mode and a dark mode. How cool is that? That first tool ever on RickRunGood.com. I'll talk through each one of these options, but at the top, you have the ability to download the parameters and then upload the parameters. More on that in just a minute. The model parameters, including your ability to change the date range to exactly the range that you want. Previously, the custom model was a blended mix of the last 2 seasons. It could have been confusing, or people didn't always understand what was happening. So now you can set your date range, or you can choose any number of rounds that you want. And then, of course, the model weights should look somewhat familiar. This is your ability to use 100 beans or 100 weights to allocate them into the stats that you find most important, whether that is strokes gained from tee to green, or strokes gained putting, or driving accuracy, or birdie or better, or scrambling, whatever it is, with the idea that there is constantly going to be more stats added to this, but we've got a really solid foundation at the moment. So what you'll want to do is you can clear these weights from the default, and you could put, 100 of your weights, 100% of them, all on strokes gained total, or you can spread them out amongst any stats that you would like to do. Maybe I want to do 20 on putting, and 20 on tee to green, and another 20 on approach. And then maybe I want to put my last 40 on sand saves. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you have the ability. What I like about this tool is now if you go over or below 100, it tells you, and essentially doesn't let you continue until you actually do that. So that's one part that's really nice. And what you might have noticed is, while I was updating all of this, the value down here was changing, which it's doing all of that calculation in real time. So again, let's watch Dustin Johnson here. His value, that is the number that we are optimizing on here in a second, or building lineups on in a second. It's at 72.1. But if I change 40 from sand saves, and I put another 40 on strokes gained total, you'll see DJ's value is now 86.91. So it changes it in real time as you go through this weighting process, or if I were to change the number of rounds or the date range. So for example, if I go from 50 rounds to his last 32 rounds, you'll see how that value changes as well. So pretty slick. And let's talk about the bottom here. This is the golfers section. Each one of these headers, if you hover over it, it'll tell you what it means. But essentially, we've got the projected points, the value, that's the amount that we are optimizing off of, how many tournaments he has played in the times frame that we have dictated up at the top, how many rounds, and how many measured rounds have been played. Those are two different things. So I like the ability for you to be able to see both of those. And then, of course, the corresponding stats for each one of the categories based on what you have told the lineup builder to do. What I really like about this is whatever state you're at you can download the parameters. So if I have, I've got my weights in here and I download this, you're going to see it's going to open up a CSV in my browser here. And if I open this, I'll be able to manipulate and adjust it. So here's that sheet, and I'll just make the columns a little bit bigger. And what I like about this, and you can actually, if you wanted to, we'll work on getting these undefined out of here. But what you could leave them if you want. But what I like about this is not only can you, at the time of download, it gave me the values that I had. So maybe I want to save this. This build with my parameters with 20 off the tee, 20 around the green, 22 to green. I want to save that and I want to go do another model as well. So I can download it, keep it on my computer, upload it later. So maybe I have one set of builds that are something like bombers and another one that is like, oh, I just want guys that are really good ball strikers or something like that. So you can actually, as you're going, continue to download these and save these files, because now that I have it downloaded, well, now I can do anything. I can change the value that I want to optimize on in bulk. I can change the max ownership for each individual player. I can actually even upload and change the parameters for each one of the stats and for the parameters of lineups that I'm going to be building. It's pretty cool. So I really like this as a download sheet. And then of course, just uploading it back in after you've made the adjustments. It'll ask you in the lineup builder, if where the file exists that you want to upload, you'll click the file that you saved and it'll change the parameters in the actual tool. If you don't want to go with the parameters, you can certainly just use mine. So we've actually built in here, use Rick's projected points, and you'll see this projected points column is actually going to scoot over into the value when I click that, so that you can download off of projected fantasy points for the week, because those are already preloaded in. Or maybe I want to change Dustin Johnson's ownership himself, or maybe I want to change John Rahm's projection or value individually. I can do that as well. So this is pretty slick to be able to do it in bulk or just one golfer at a time in the actual tool. And then when I'm ready to build lineups, I can certainly do that. I can choose how many lineups that I want, anywhere from 0, or I guess from 1 to 150. And then my min salary, my max salary, I can change this back to let's call it 50,000. And then how many unique golfers that I want. So this is kind of a bit of a personal preference. The smaller the number of unique golfers, the tighter your core is going to be. You're going to get a lot of the similar golfers. So essentially it says, okay, the first lineup that it builds, it's these 6 golfers. I'm going to build the next optimal lineup. And if the best way to get to that is to just change one golfer, I'm going to do that. Or I can force it to change 2 golfers or 3 golfers or 4 golfers or 5 golfers. And the more that you do, essentially changes the amount of exposure you have and spreads it out a little bit for more unique golfers. So it defaults to 2. We can change it to 1. You can change it to anything you want. But when you're ready to build these lineups and you've got all your parameters set, you're just going to click build lineups, and it'll take a second. They're going to come out in batches, essentially batches of 10. The optimizer is obviously doing a lot of hard work behind the scenes. So while you're waiting for the next couple of batches, I like to look at the lineups that it's actually spitting out, and it'll tell you all the players, it'll tell you their total salary, and it'll tell you their total in terms of value that you have put into the sheet or whatever you're using to give you the best sum. And then, of course, on the right-hand side, you're going to have the total golfers that you are exposed to, so 39 golfers in this build, and the percentage for each one of these golfers. And I can scroll through all of this, and it's certainly awesome. I love this, and I love the way it looks. And then, of course, if you're ready with this and you like it, you can download these lineups and you can import them directly into DraftKings, and that's the format that it will accept. So certainly a big upgrade on the original custom model. Now you can actually build lineups off of it. Again, the goal is to continually improve this, make changes, make updates, add things. So if you have any feedback, you know how to reach me. It's at RickRunGood, or you can leave a comment below. But good luck, and I hope you enjoy the lineup builder.